One of the focuses I had in high school was really around research, around science and engineering research, and so I spent a lot of time in my third and fourth year of high school focusing on how to solve interesting problems. Actually, it started with chemistry and chemical engineering. I was really early on excited about how you can solve so many of the basic world problems with materials, with manufacturing, with basic building blocks from atoms and compounds you can turn into anything that we can touch and feel around us. And that was so cool, from simple atoms and molecules to the devices we have, everything we touch, it all comes from these basic building blocks. And so in high school, I spent a lot of time doing research. And again, Phillips Academy had an amazing research facility where we actually had high quality labs at MIT. And then I was very fortunate to get a research position at Tufts University as well. And so I split my time between Phillips Academy and actually going to Tufts University roughly once a week, and then spending my summers there doing very intensive chemicals research. And the end result of that was actually our final year at school, something that you were involved with, where we got to go to Poland for the International Conference of Young Scientists. And so the research that I did ended up resulting in a couple of papers that we submitted to various publications and got published, as well as actually to winning a gold medal at the International Conference of Young Scientists. And that year it was hosted in Poland. And so we went with a contingent from Phillips Academy and got to represent the United States in this competition, in this international competition. And that, for me, I think was really important, because what I learned there, I think, was a couple things. One, about how to do fundamental research, how to have a basic idea and actually take that into the lab and say, okay, this idea is gonna, here is a hypothesis I have, here's an idea that I've structured, and how do we actually turn that into a scientific experiment, get results, prove that they're valid, that they're statistically significant, make sure that we get peers, professors, et cetera, reading, reviewing, and writing it up with us, and then, present it to a much larger audience of peers in the world. And so I think that was really exciting for me. And then two, the end of that was going to this international competition and actually meeting and talking to a number of students and faculty member across the globe who were really passionate about this research, and looking at not just what I was doing in the lab, but what people were doing globally, and realizing kind of, oh my gosh, there's such a large world out there of people who are trying to solve similar problems. And wouldn't it be so cool if we could collaborate, if we could work together, et cetera. And that, I think, was a really eye-opening experience for me in the early days. And that was probably something I spent, I'd say, the most time on, that I went really deep on, was on chemicals research throughout high school.